this uses the Unraid operating system, and I'm not impressed with it.
JoeteckTips, he's the man with the plan, guiding us through the digital land.
All right, so this is the Link Station N1 device, and it's a very complicated task to get going. All these fake reviews out there of this product is very, I guess they are biased because they got the product for free. I also got the product for free. However, it is very complicated to use. Thankfully, there are YouTube videos out there that will help you along. However, if you make, like, I would never have known to actually, so there are tools. You have dashboard, main, shares, users, settings, plugins, VMS, apps, stats, and tools are all on the top of this. Now, as I mentioned, or well, I actually will mention now, is that this uses M.2 NVMe drives, which is absolutely pointless in a NAS. There's absolutely no need to spend that kind of money on such a device that uses high performance drives in a system that can't achieve the performance of a single drive, let alone a SSD, which only can do 550 or 560 megs a second, which is stupid. So right now we're actually in the middle of doing a parity sync right now, but it took forever. I'm telling you right now, it took forever to get this to actually work properly. So for you to, like, say for argument's sake, I made a mistake. So I have to go to the dashboard and stop the array. But since it's in the middle of syncing, I can't do that. I have to wait for this to be complete. And if you look down below on the bottom left-hand side, it's at 11.9%. Because finally, I was able to figure this out. If you go to Tools, if you make a mistake, you go to Tools, and then you go to New Config, and then you select, this can only happen when the array is stopped, by the way. So I'm just showing you the process. You click on, there's different sections. You want to do the array only, and it'll ask you, yes, I want to do this. You hit done, and it resets all the drives that's located here. Now, each one of these drives, so I set one one M.2 drive to be a parity drive for these, and then I set the other SSD to be another parity for the other SSD. So I'm assuming this is probably RAID 5, and this is RAID 1. I don't know. So let's see. From the looks of it, I have a total of, it looks like it may be a RAID 6. Because I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 terabyte, and I have 4 available. 4 terabyte. So I'm thinking, I don't know. It's a very confusing thing because this is called an unraid. So there's really no RAID per se. However, there is still parity. So it's very confusing. What is it? Is it RAID or is it not RAID? Again, I'm not 100% for this product. I think it's a very confusing, very like, what's the purpose of it? There are so many other options out there that does not use this unraid firmware or front or back end per se. You can just get a regular NAS that handles 2.5-inch drives, SSDs, SATA SSDs, and put them in, and the interface is so much nicer, and you can set up your NAS, and you're good to go. I have NASs that have been running. I got Buffaloes, I got Terra stations, and there's no licenses, there's nothing. You just buy it, install the drives, set up as a NAS, and you're good. The only thing I can see this being used for, usefully, is if you have virtual machines. So you can set this up as a VM server, and so you can turn this on. And you can set up virtual machines, and you can set up ISOs on this device to set up virtual machines. Again, you can do this on regular NASs as well. So I'm not really quite sure what the fascination is of this, because it's very confusing. Like, why would you need a dedicated, a specific machine like this, like the Unraid, to do VMs? And you have VMS right here, and then you can add a VM, and we could choose what you want. But that's the only plus to this. I mean, you can have it as a regular NAS as well, but it seems like this would be the only purpose to set up a Windows 2016 server. And that's it. And then this is where you would configure. So this is similar to like having like an ESXi server, and you set it up. Okay, this is what it's, the server, what the name is going to be. The only problem I have here is that the processor is super slow. So why would you set up a server to run on a Celeron? It's like kind of it's counterproductive. You want servers, and you could just add a whole bunch to this, and you only have 4 CPUs to choose from. And what are you going to set up? Most servers, like if I was maybe setting up a domain controller, I might assign this 8 gigs of memory and 2 CPUs, and then it's asking me what machine. So this is like how do you even know what to do? Like what are these options? What does this even mean? So you have Q35 2.4. I mean, I don't really quite understand what all that means. So it's very, so your initial memory, maximum memory. So it's a domain controller. So, and then let's see what other options there are. So if you have BIOS type. So if you're more of a virtual machine type of guy, this would be right up your alley. But the system itself is not strong enough to do this task. And that is my problem. Like, why would you buy this for VMs? It's silly. It doesn't have enough horsepower to back up the performance. It's silly, stupid, unnecessary. It's really a stupid thing to actually set it up. So that said, I believe the concept of this is moot and silly and pointless. I would never go out of my way to buy this particular product for this purpose. There's so many other options out there that have more horsepower. A Celeron 5105 at 2 gigahertz, and this is what I have to choose from. So then if I set up virtual machines on this device, then as a regular NAS, it's going to be completely crippled, because I'm setting this up to be running as virtual machines. And I would probably only do like 2 virtual machines, 2 cores each, maybe a print server, maybe, and a domain controller, maybe a backup one. But this, again, not enough horsepower. So I think that's probably one of the, so it's still doing the syncing. It's at 24%, and I still can't even delete it to show you what to do. So I'm not a big fan of this product. Again, it's extremely underpowered for what it is. It does give you the specifications of the current status of the processors in use and stuff. And now this is doing a parity sync. And look how much CPU it's using just for parity sync. So imagine if a drive failed, you're sticking another drive in to do a repair, and now you have 2 virtual machines on this thing, and it's trying to sync, do a repair, parity sync, and still run virtual machines. So it does have 16 gig of memory, and it has DDR4. So that's what it looks. So 16 gig of memory available, 5.5. And this is the RAM usage, this is the flash usage, and this is the log file. And here's the interface. The other thing that I'm not, and it's only at a gigabit. That's all it is. So the other thing that I'm not a big fan of is that it doesn't tell me, I haven't found it yet, is what's the IP address of the device? Like, how do I map drives to it? I haven't seen that yet. I've been through almost every single option on this device, and I still can't find what the IP address is to map drives. Now, if you go to shares, it shows all of these. I haven't created any of them. And there's explanation points on them. Some files are unprotected because it's still in the process of syncing. The array has started. So the only devices that I created were, I believe, media, ISO, and movies. I believe those are the only ones I've actually created on my own. So that's what the shares are, because I was going to use it as a NAS. But I think it's just way over, it's extremely, I don't know how to say this. It's over-engineered. There we go. That's a great word for this. Over-engineered. So we have, so we go up to users, and this is default. Root, you cannot change the root user. It's always root, no matter what. And then you add other people. So like I added a user called Movies. I added a user called JoeteckTips. Set the password up. Everything is done. Complicated. And as you see here, registration. It says Unraid OS Starter. So it's a starter. So this is the interesting part. So let's go. I think it's on the tools. Let me just confirm. And where was it? Oh yeah, registration. So it says the SSL certificates for Unraid.net has depreciated. On January 1st, 2023, SSL certificates for Unraid.net were depreciated. You must provision a new SSL certificate, which I did, and it failed. So this is the part that's bothering me, because this is something that you're going to have to buy. It's not something. So if I upgrade the key, let's say I haven't clicked it yet. Let's see what this thing does. See, now you have to spend money. So if you have a regular NAS device, you don't have to spend any money. So this is a waste of money. I created another video. I'm just at a loss. I'm pretty upset about this tech, and I'm not a big fan of it at all. It's just, so these are the plugins for the product. If you're looking for a video on a how-to, this is not going to be it. This is how to not buy it. That's what this is. There's so many negative things about this product. I don't know what else to say about it. That just don't do it. It's a waste of money. I did get the product for free. I'm just going to probably remove all my drives, box this thing back up again, and leave it in the box, because it's just, I'm not going to use it. It shouldn't cost me money to use a NAS for Unraid. You're better off setting up a server, operating system, and using ProxMox as your virtual machine than this, because this is not intuitive. ProxMox, you install ProxMox, it's Linux-based, but it's a lot more intuitive than this. And ProxMox, you can have a massive horsepower, a nice beefy machine, a AMD processor with tons of cores, or an Intel processor with a ton of cores. You can assign your VMs the correct way. This is not the correct way. And to use this as a regular standalone NAS is also cumbersome, because you have to pay for a license once the starter runs out. So I hope you guys figure this out, that this is a bad choice for doing just Unraid is just not the way to go. It should be ease of use. You have to be a serious Unraid tech or support person that could really seriously understand this product, because it is just out of control, too many functions and features, and once you get to know it, it's okay, but it's just not the way I would go on this product. I would rather buy regular NAS and set this up as a NAS, and then use ProxMox as my virtual machine server, and that's it. Unraid is not the way to go. And I believe we went to the dashboard, it's telling me that I needed an upgrade. Docker service not enabled. Let's see, only plugins available to be installed, or let's see if I click on this, what happens. Okay, it's done. So that's finished. Not that I'm going to use this product, but I'm not a big fan of it. So if you guys are a big fan of it and I'm offending you, I'm very sorry. It's just that this is not something, it's just way over, like I told you, way over engineered. So guys, if you like this video and you think it deserves a thumbs up, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. If you're in agreement with me, make a comment in the comments below. And if there's a question that you have about the product, I will keep it for tech support and possibly help you. So I will still have it, and I will use it. If you say, oh, how do you do this? I will figure it out and tell you. If you guys are not a subscriber, please subscribe. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Take care, and we'll see you next time.
In the world of bytes and bits, where tech can make a strip, there's a guru with a knack for every digital tip. JoeteckTips the name, he's the one you'll seek. From gadgets to software, he's the one you'll meet. So if your tech's in a tangle, don't you fear. JoeteckTips here, let his advice draw near. With his help, you'll surely find in this digital world peace of mind. JoeteckTips, he's the man with the plan, guiding us through the digital land. His wisdom and his wit, every tech woe will surely fix it.